Today, I want to speak about a little man who had a low self-image. He went to the art school and showed one of his paintings, and they said, "This is just trash. You're not talented. You're a loser. You might as well just go down the street. We're not going to accept you in here. Just get lost." So this Austrian, he's going around, and somebody hands him some anti-Semitic literature. Oh, look at the Jews! Look at they come from monkeys. They're terrible. They're the reason for all of our problems. Yeah, we need to do something about the Jewish problem. We need a solution to the Jewish problem. Well, this little guy, this little crazy guy, he needed a lift. He wanted a better label for himself. He didn't want to be a loser. He didn't want to be labeled a loser. I'll be labeled der Führer, the leader. And also, I will lead the great white race, the true white race, the Aryans. And we'll do street agitation. We'll get some Nazis out there on the street corner, stirring up hatred. And you know what? He killed 100 million people and 6 million Jews. The wrath of man, friend, does not work the righteousness of God. Now, you might be Sheets. I don't know whether you know this term. It's one of the funniest terms that Rush Limbaugh ever came up with. Robert Byrd, the senator, he was called Sheets Byrd because he was a member of the KKK. Now, you might want to do KKK work against the black people, or you might want to do you might want to dress that up with religion and do the same thing in a Star Trek outfit against the white people and call them the cracker Edomites and talk about old Esau. Actually, that's a mispronunciation. It's Esav in Hebrew. Remember, there were two people, two nations in Rebekah's womb, Rivkah. One of them was going to become Israel, and through him would be the Israelites. The other one was the nation of the Edomites, the twin brother Esav, or Esau, as you like to call him. So, okay, so now we're the Israelites, we black people, and you white crackers, you're the Edomites. And we're going to get out on the street, and we're going to quote the Apocrypha. There's a quote in 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, where everyone who's not an Israelite is spittled, and they're not saved. Well, the problem with that is the ignoramus that was quoting it on the street was actually quoting from the Apocrypha and not from the canon of the Bible. You see, let me tell you something. You non-readers out there who don't read the Bible, but you like your ears tickled, and you say, "Oh, you know, I don't like any of these labels. Heirs, believers, brethren, chosen ones, disciples, elect of God, friends, friends of God, heirs of God, lambs of Moshiach, men of God, redeemed, vessels of mercy." No, none of those turn me on. Well, let's see. Oh, I know. Oh, yes, I've heard someone. They said you need to be called a Jehovah witness. Yes, that'll be your label. And then you can fight against all the Trinitarians and all the others, you know. Or how about this one? Israelites. Yeah, that's what you are. You're an Israelite. And then you can attack all the white cracker Edomites. And you can get out on the street and you can do street agitation like the Nazis did. And you can have lots of hatred. And you can express this hatred and this indignation through religion. And what you would never want to do before with a white population, you can now do it, especially if you get some big muscle-bound guys out there in their Star Trek costumes. They're going to be able to do this. But here's the problem, friend. Let's talk about the Israelites. Do you really want to be an Israelite? It says, so I say, have they, that's the Israelites, stumbled so as to fall? You know, fall to spiritual ruin? I'm quoting from Romans here. Is that the end of them, those Israelites? No. But by their transgression, see, the Israelites transgressed, and the head transgressor was a guy named Rav Shaul, an enemy of God. It says, by their transgression, what transgression did they do? Well, they rejected the Moshiach. It says, but God used it. God works all things together for good. He took their transgression and he used it to bring salvation to the Gentiles, the non-Israelites, the ones you call white cracker Edomites. And Paul says it's a good thing because I'd be out of a job. I'm the apostle to the Gentiles. So if they hadn't temporarily transgressed, I wouldn't have anything to do. But you see, God works all things together for good. So Romans 11:15, God is working out the reconciliation of the world, and we're talking about the place of the Gentiles in the covenant. You don't want to be called a Gentile. You want a more highfalutin, status-giving label for yourself. And you don't like any of these other labels. So you want to listen to false prophet ignoramuses who haven't even really studied the Bible. They don't know any Hebrew. They're just like Charles Taze Russell. He didn't know Hebrew, didn't know Greek. But now we got millions and millions and millions of JWs, and they're running around, and they don't know that their whole fate is hinging on a 19-year-old Sunday school dropout who didn't know anything. He was complete ignoramus. The only thing that he had going for him was he was a false prophet with the spirit of the devil in him. And friend, let me tell you this: you race baiters out there on the street who are street agitators and race baiters. The wrath of man does not work the righteousness of God. We have to be humble and meek and come to people and implore them as one beggar telling another beggar where to find bread, so to speak. And let me tell you another thing, friends. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 16. We no longer know Moshiach after the flesh from a purely fleshly pigment point of view. And let me tell you, when he comes in the glory clouds as the Bar Enosh, nobody's going to be looking at his skin tone. Listen, friend, what you're doing is you're trying to do this. You're trying to say, well, look, Yeshua was and by the way, you can't even pronounce his name. Yahweh-Wah-Shah, Shah-Wah, Shah-Wah-Wah, Shah-Wah-Wah-Shah, Shah-Wah-Wah-Shah-Wah-Wah, Wah-Wah, Shah-Wah-Wah-Wah. Okay, friend, his name is Yeshua or Yehoshua. Zechariah chapter 6, verses 11 and 12. And you try to go like this. This is your twisted, demonic Adolf Hitler logic. Yeshua was a black man. The salvation is of the black men. The Israelites are black men. If you are not an Israelite, you're going to hell. You're a white cracker Edomite. And that is my gospel. Friend, he was dark complected. True. But even if he was very, very, very dark complected, you no longer are supposed to know him after his complexion, after his flesh, after his skin, after his human manifestation. You're supposed to know him not according to the flesh, but according to what he is. He is the Bar Enosh. He's coming on the glory clouds. He's going to destroy the wicked. He's going to destroy everyone who has hatred and murder in their heart. If you are a murderous, hating, anti-white, anti-black, sheets, the KKK or whatever you are, Robert Byrd, Sheets Bird, whatever you are, then friend, I have bad news for you. You're not saved. You are not saved. You don't know who you are. A real Israelite said that he was the chief of sinners. Is that what you preach? I don't think so. I think what you're doing is you're being very arrogant and proud, and you're looking down your long nose at these poor, stupid people, and you're really getting off on the fact that your pigment is darker than theirs. But what about your wicked black heart, friend? I might be a white man, but I have a black heart. I've got to get saved. I have a problem. I'm a slave of sin. You got to go back to the Bible and really come to terms with the Bible. And really, you got to see that, let me make this very clear. Don't encroach, it says. Do you remember Korah? He wanted to, he wasn't content to be a Levite. He wanted to be a Cohen. In fact, he wanted Aaron's job. And Moses warned him, don't encroach. Not many of you should be teachers. The teacher will be more strictly judged. Friend, it takes more than somebody with a King James Bible shouting racist vitriol on a street corner to be a preacher, to be a teacher. You need to study to show yourself approved and stop being an ignoramus and stop being like Adolf Hitler. Because if you want to spend eternity with him, you do what he did. He hated the Jewish people, and he murdered them. First with murderous speech in the Nuremberg rallies. And that's what you're doing, murderous speech on the street corners. And just like Charles Manson, you want helter-skelter, you want a race war. Some guy, he's walking around Nice, and he says, you know, I'm just a loser. Then someone says, no, you're not a loser. That's a bad label. We're going to give you a good label. You are a Jihadist. That's what you are. And here we have this big truck. It's very heavy. And all we want you to do is go down to the driver's license place, get yourself a truck driver's license, and plow through about maybe 300 children and women, and then you'll be famous. Everybody will know you. And not only that, but you'll get to go to heaven. You're going to heaven. You're going to have 7 virgins up there. And just think how smart you were to get the right label. Friend, let me tell you something. God is not so stupid that he can be fooled by bad labeling, by lying labelers. He doesn't look at the label. He doesn't even look on the outside. He looks at the heart. And that's why Samuel said, don't you have anybody else? And the little rut kid that was the shepherd boy comes in, and he's the one that becomes the king. If you humble yourself, you will be exalted. But if you exalt yourself as a race-baiting false prophet, you will be humbled. Lord, I want to pray that you will open the eyes of the Ku Klux Klan race baiters and the black Hebrew Israelite race baiters, and that you will bring these people to their senses, open their eyes, show them who they're looking at in the mirror, a lost, reprobate sinner with hatred in his heart and confusion, who needs to sit and learn and get real, healthy teaching so that he can take the pure milk of the Word of God as a newborn babe and grow up to be a sound teacher and not a false prophet. And everybody said, amen.